Hey friends, it's Monday, so it's time for the Monday motivation video. And I want to talk quickly about a subject that Margaret brought up 2 weeks ago when I said, what do you want me to talk about? And I'm going to paraphrase what she said, but it had to do with how we generally know what our weaknesses are, and we can more easily identify limiting beliefs from those. But that sometimes our strengths can also become limiting beliefs and become toxic mindsets. And why is that? So first of all, let's talk about weaknesses. There's one thing that I think is interesting is that when we're growing up, we tend to focus on our weaknesses. The people around us, the adults, the teachers, people that are trying to help us develop into great adults tend to focus on our weaknesses because they want to make us well-rounded. In school, if you're not doing well in one subject, that's a subject everybody focuses on in your life generally and says you need to improve in that area. And it's understandable because we want children to develop well-rounded abilities. But what's interesting about that is we tend not to focus as much on, wow, you're doing really well in this subject, great, keep it up. But understanding that, wait a minute, that's a sign of a strength in that child. So once we get out of school, we have to make that adjustment to say, listen, I'm pursuing a career in my strengths, right? I'm pursuing a college or other forms of education that focus on my strengths, and because my interests generally come out of my strengths. So in terms of weaknesses as adults, be careful how much you focus on them, only to the degree that it makes your life better. So for example, if you're not a good communicator, focus on communicating better so your relationships are better. If you're not good at managing money, focus on doing that to the degree that you can have a more stable financial life. If you're not well organized, try to focus on that weakness to the degree that you can live a life that's less cluttered. So yes, we want to have those weaknesses. We want to work on those so they don't become pitfalls in our life and our everyday life and hurt us in ways that prevent us from having good relationships and generally just a calm, peaceful life. But when it comes to strengths, those are related to the innate gifts that God gave us. Gifts are given and then opened and then developed into talents. But if I give you a gift and you never open it and you never do anything with it, it does you no good. So when you see people that have these talents and strengths, they have been working on those. They didn't come out of the womb with the talent, they came out with the gift. If you look at a sports figure who's a phenom, who's very, very good, he or she obviously at age 2 was not as good as they are today. They were given that gift, but as they grew and developed, they recognized it, someone else recognized it, and they spent time to develop that gift into a talent. And along the way comes various pitfalls and resistance and failure and successes. And they were willing to go through all of that to pursue that gift, to turn it into a talent so that it would become purpose and change the world around them in whatever way it did. Are you willing to do that? This is where limiting beliefs and mindset can come in as it relates to our strengths. We can either have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. A fixed mindset says, whatever gifts I have, whatever they look like today, to the best of my ability, that's what it's going to be. And you're not willing to focus on those gifts and develop them into talents and develop that into purpose. And the reason why is probably from some kind of pain or limiting belief. The reason why usually has to do with an avoidance of potential failure, an avoidance of what it takes to get that gift turned into a talent. And that can become something that holds you back. But if you have a growth mindset, you see that you've been given the raw material. You've been given those gifts, and it's on you to figure out how to develop those into talents, to surround yourself with the right people, to look for the right opportunities, to be willing to fail, and also be willing to look at success correctly, because we don't ever stop developing those talents. We don't ever stop taking those gifts and using them to pursue purpose. It's what we do for the rest of our lives. But that is a growth mindset, which means tomorrow I'm a better person than I am today. Tomorrow I'm a stronger person than I am today. Tomorrow my gifts are that much more useful to change somebody's life. That is a growth mindset related to your strengths. So I challenge you this week, be careful that you don't have a fixed mindset, that you're not accepting just this is what I am. Yes, I have my gifts and I'm better at this than I am at this, but this is what they are. And that you're somehow then just putting a ceiling over yourself. I challenge you to go for a growth mindset, to take care of those limiting beliefs, whatever's standing in your way that somehow is holding you back from every day developing those talents deeper and deeper, because those talents are what other people need. Those talents are tied into your purpose, and your purpose ultimately is to make this world a better place in whatever unique flavor and way that God designed you to do it. So that's just a quick thing on weaknesses and strengths. There's a lot more to that, but that's enough to get you going for this week. Have a great week, and I'll see you guys online.